very deep in yourself as a creator. I think that's the real challenge.
But can you also address together there with the financial situation, the financial circumstances? You've been involved in a lot of production, co-production. So what is the opportunity they have? What is with that? If they have to invent themselves, how are they going to invent the finance aspect of it?
I think this is probably the biggest challenge that this generation is having. Because we were part of a generation where to start with our government, for as part of the recent independence, were in the same mood of affirming the national identity. So there were resources for cinema, local resources, and then we would complete with funding from all this contradictory system and sometimes perverse financing system from the Western world. And I think today in Africa we are confronted with the need to create our own business model so that whatever work we're doing is related to, first and foremost, our own market, our own audience. It's not about making films for foreign audiences to like and to give you awards or whatever. It's about making film for your grandmother at home. That's the challenge I think we all facing, creating a market within our context. So that when we go internationally looking for funding, we don't go there empty-handed. We go there with something that we're able to put on the table that create a better possibility of negotiation with whoever is funding. Because the system in which we made film in the past, to a certain extent, was very perverse. Because money always comes attached with some cost. There's no such thing like free money. So often you are given money, but they want you to do the film that they want you to do, not the film that you want to do. It's a contradiction that one has to get out of. There are a number, you obviously know of Nollywood. And there are all kinds of opinions about what is Nollywood. We can discuss the artistic value or lack of value of Nollywood. But something that I give credit to Nollywood is that they've created a business model that worked for them. Is it replicable somewhere else? I don't think so, or to a certain extent. So for each of us, it's about finding the right business model for our context, what works for us. And I think the starting point is that we need to start making films expressing our ideas through film, our culture, thinking in terms of giving the priority to our first audience. And our first audience is our grandmother. It's not a festival in Cannes or anywhere else. If my grandmother likes any film I do, I think that is the right step in the right direction.
Any other questions? Okay. You first and you second. Louder, louder, brother.
Ma question, monsieur, c'est de savoir de quel conseil souhaiterez-vous nous donner, nous les jeunes africains souhaitant, possédant la passion du monde cinématographique et que nous souhaitons le développer de plus le cinéma africain. De quel conseil vous allez nous donner?
So the question is, what advice can you give us as young filmmakers to enhance our movies and develop African cinema?
Mine is almost in the same line with Opson production. And you say that we need to create a market, so it's very important for all of us. But in the meantime, what do you think that we should do as we don't have big names like yours to get the money to produce our film. And presently there are less and less funds to support African cinema. More of them are focusing on Latin America or Middle East, and less money from outside for us. And the few remaining are asking us something like 30% coming from our countries, 30 or 20%, and even that we don't have it. How should we manage to get this money? Because when you go to see some businessmen, you say, how can I get back the investment I would put in the movie? I prefer opening a nightclub instead of putting money in a film. Where and how can we get this money?
Yeah, you won't translate it.
When Suleiman is saying that in terms of the advice, that's, you've said it already at the beginning. He has got no advice for you. Each one has to find his way, as long as you carry the three conditions you mentioned. Love your country, love your story, and do it with passion. That's the only advice he can give. As far as your question is concerned, first thing I need to clarify, the notion of big name. What you consider big names here. We struggle the same as you to go and get 1 cent.
Yeah.
Don't think it's easier for us. No. Probably in some instances, because you are young, newcomer, there is this paternalistic approach. Oh, he's young, so let's help him. Maybe there's something there. Maybe it's easier for you. For us, the challenge is bigger. Each time, we have to start from zero. Like if we don't have any CV, like if we've made no film, like if we are starting today. So the big name, forget it. There's no big name.
In Africa.
Yeah. Second thing, you mentioned something which is crucial, which is in our economical context, private money prefer to go nightclub, quick money back. So this is where the challenge lies. What do we need to find that will make private investor consider the possibility of maybe I can make some quick bucks by supporting this project, because if there is something there, but it means we have to change the entire thinking of the private investor, but also the filmmaker. Maybe the models that we know that worked in the past are no more the models which are the right models today. And I'm saying maybe, but I'm convinced. If there's no maybe, I'm convinced that the model is not working for us. We need to create a new model. What is a new model? Who knows? We are all searching for it. We are all looking for it. I mean, contrarily to some years back where you could find one model that works in different places, I think now we are talking about different models. Each filmmaker has to find his own business model. What works for you in your context? You need to study your context. You need to understand who has got money, what do they like, how can I connect with them, what am I giving them? And obviously you need to understand business, because you're dealing with a person whose mind, don't tell him about culture, identity, arty. You want to know return on investment. So you need to know your numbers. This is a new challenge that we had not in our years. We were not thinking return on investment. It was cultural expression. Now you need to integrate this slowly. It doesn't mean that you have to forget about the rest, no. It means you have to find the right balance between culture, artistic, but also business. And the business model for you, where are you from?
Cote d'Ivoire.
Cote d'Ivoire. I'm sure, I'm convinced, I'm positive, it's not the same as in Mozambique. And it's not the same as in Ethiopia. Ethiopia, it's a very interesting situation now happening in Ethiopia. From 0 films to what, 100 a year? 100. They find their own model, it's working for them. Do you expect to see these films in Cannes, Berlin, Sundance? No, it's not for that. But it's working for them. What's interesting to me is that unlike Nollywood, they screen the films in halls. It's not DVD distribution. So they are creating small, popular cinema where people come, pay a little money, see the movie. And whoever is investing on these movies has a good return on investment. Now guess what? Their return on investment, they invest it in nightclubs. That's a problem. You and the filmmaker, the Ethiopian filmmakers, they make the film, you know, they exist. On many occasions, they are the producers themselves, which is something that probably, I don't know if you dealt with. But you see many films where it's written, produced, directed by so-and-so. Maybe the profession of a producer is not needed anymore. Maybe you have to integrate in yourself being your own producer. And then on the other extreme, you see these Hollywood movies. When it comes to producer, you've got 25 names. Why is that? Because this is the economy. In our economy, we don't need 25 names. You can probably handle it yourself. I obviously is defending my profession, so I don't like when I see written, directed, produced by. If not, I've got no more job to do. But maybe that's the way it's evolving. But let me tell you something. When I started working some centuries ago, to make a feature film, as a producer, you need maybe 5-6 files of paper, maximum. Now, to make the same kind of feature film, you need 60 files of paper. So as a producer, you've got less time to think the movie, to think the filmmaker, to think the artistic. All your energy is going into the legal and the account. You become an accountant and the financial. So artistically, you become less creative as a producer. I don't like it. It's too much paperwork. But that's the way it's going. So it's a choice that we expect. But I think the solutions are inside you, each one of you. There is no one model for everybody. Unless you're in Hollywood, but you know that's not our model.
I want to add something to Pedro's thing. There's also, I think, a lack of working together amongst young filmmakers. Individual existence alone is not enough. I think a movement comes when you have communal activism or lobby, even to do your own, let's say, your own capitalism, your own business. You need collective unity. Like the merchants have a union. You know, they always, everywhere there's an organization called Commerce. What is it called? The Commerce, Chamber of Commerce. Filmmakers, whether they like it or not, politically or not, they need a unifying lobbying machine. But you young people don't like to work with each other. This is what I see in every country. Ethiopia, for example, the filmmakers don't even talk to each other. They talk bad about each other. They don't know how to unite, tolerate difference, and unite on the cause of filmmaking tribe. Filmmakers are tribes. to be united on that could also help you. So from